Hello, everybody. So excited to be here. What is going on? Welcome to new friends and old, everybody that's here. It's Fabi Paolini, the coach behind Breakthrough Brands that attract for high-ticket coaches. I am so excited to be here. It feels like I haven't done a Facebook Live in forever because last week I was on Zoom. I didn't do it online and Facebook, so it's been a while. Anyways, I hope that you guys are doing amazing. I am really excited about today's training. It is going to be so good, so juicy, so powerful. I really think you guys will enjoy it. Please say hi whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay afterwards. I always read through the messages. I always try to reply. For the most part, I try to reply, but I am just really excited to be here today to kind of walk you through some of the most important pitfalls or mistakes that you want to avoid, not only in 2022, but you want to avoid period in your business if you want to move forward. So these are the most common mistakes, the most common things that coaches are making that is keeping them really feeling stuck, frustrated, and not moving in the speed that they want to move and generating the clients that they want to generate. What? Obviously, we don't want to do any of that. So this is going to get really good. I just want to make sure, double check over here. Please say hola if you guys can hear me. You know how Facebook is sometimes it's weird. Okay, good. It is showing up. Awesome. Perfect. Anyways, so what I want to share with you guys today are some of the lessons that I have learned over the year that are all about what makes a business successful. These are things that have come from my own personal experience, that have come from friends in the coaching industry as well, that have come from people, random people that I see in the coaching industry, and even a lot of clients as well. So throughout all of these things, I've been really able to determine what are the most common pitfalls or mistakes that people are making in their businesses. And my intention with you guys today is to give you ideas of what these things are so that you don't make those mistakes, so that these things are not in your own radar, right? Now, what I'm going to talk about today, it doesn't really matter if you are in a process that you're about to launch your coaching business right now, or if you have been around for a while now and you are in the process of scaling or growing your business. It really doesn't matter because I have genuinely seen these things happen on both scenarios, okay? So I really want to make that very clear because it's super important, because what I want to make sure that we're clear on is that I know that you guys are amazing at what you do. I know that you're good at what you do. I know that you're passionate about it. I know that you're helping your clients get results, whether they have been paying clients because you have an existing business, or even if it's been friends, family, or people that you have helped through this and now you're in the process of building this business. Maybe you have a ton of experience in this area. Whatever the case, you have experience and you're good at what you do. But being good and getting praise and getting results for your clients is not the same thing as having consistency in the amount of clients that you're getting, right? I wish. So what I want to ask you is, what is your income goal? How much money do you want to make every single month in your business? Can you please type that in the chat, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, because I want to see what those numbers are, right? And that's going to kind of take me into the next section of this, which is, what are some of the pitfalls that are necessary to avoid? What are the mistakes that we need to avoid so that you're able to hit the numbers that you want, so that you're able to hit the goals, the whatever you want to call it, right? So that's what we want to do through this, okay? So let's talk about the first thing that we want to avoid, or the first pitfall that you have. And it's about setting the wrong expectations in your business. Because how I see it, we are sold this idea that building a successful business is just easy. All you got to do is build it and they will come, right? And listen, I fell for that a gazillion % when I started my business. Literally, I signed up for a webinar program that taught me everything about how to do webinars. I started running ads to them like crazy because I was like I'll be making 50K by next week, so who cares how much money I spend? And then when I launched it, none of it worked. Like, it bombed 100%. This was back in 2016, right? So it didn't work. So obviously I felt really frustrated. And the reason why that frustration happens is that there's no clarity in terms of expectations and no clarity in terms of numbers, of what are the actual numbers that you need to hit in order to be able to hit your goals. Because the truth is that you need to understand how many people you want to talk to. So, okay, let's say that your goal is hitting 10K in a month or 20K in a month, whatever that is, right? You need to understand what needs to happen within your business so that you make those numbers happen, right? How many sales calls do you need to have every single month? What does that mean? Because, I mean, obviously, ideally, every person that you talk to would say yes, but the reality is a little bit different. The reality is that we need to talk to a few people to be able to enroll. It's very hard to have a 100% enrollment rate, right? So you need to know, okay, how many people do I need to talk to every single month? How many people need to join my community, join my email list, or sign up for my webinar? Or how many people, what are the numbers? What I believe is the number, or not the number one, but one of the pitfalls or one of the mistakes that people are making is not having clarity in terms of expectations and clarity in terms of their numbers. They do not know what they need to hit. They have no clue. So what happens is that you are kind of like throwing arrows, trying to be like, okay, let me just do this randomly and see what fits, like where it lands and see what happened. And you have these goals and you start the month and you're like, okay, this is the month where I'm going to hit 10K. But, and I'm just going to simplify just for the purpose of this training, right? You're like, this is the month I'm going to hit 10K. This is it. I'm going to do it. And you're going up and you're creating content, but you only speak to the same 10 people. So end of the month, you're trying to make 11 sales and you only spoke to 10 people. So it is literally impossible. So there you go. Expectations fall flat and then you feel like crap. So the next month comes along and you're like, okay, well, fine. This is the month where I'll hit 10K. So once again, you're trying to do things, but you're speaking once again to the same people. So therefore, you're not making sales. And therefore, your confidence is going down. Yes, you might be getting sales from referrals, or you're getting sales from older clients or whatever, but that's not really what you want. What you want is consistency and client attraction. And what you want is to keep on growing. So obviously, if every single month the same things are happening, and you're not looking at the data behind what is going on, that leaves you feeling very deflated, and you're gonna start showing up with less intensity, with less passion, with less magnetism than before. Is this making sense? So obviously, you're not gonna get the results that you expect if that's what's happening for you. So all of this to say that you need to have clarity in your numbers, right? How many sales calls do I need to have? How many people do I need to add to my email list every single day for me to be able to hit those numbers? Having clarity around that is going to be a big difference. Now, obviously, if you're just starting out, you don't really know, but you need to start tracking. You need to start tracking, okay, how many sales conversations did I have this month? This is my first month. How many did I have? How many enrolled? How many people joined my email list? What happened? You need to start tracking this information so that you're clear on where you're at. Now, obviously, there are benchmarks. There are certain numbers. And I actually have a calculator that I've created that talks or shows you the very specific benchmarks and all the different things. And if you want to type the word calculator in the comments below and I'll send it your way after the video is done. But my whole point of this is really that you need to have clarity in terms of your numbers, because that is exactly what's going to make a really massive difference in your success in your business, right? If you don't, you're going to be lost essentially, right? And I feel like data doesn't lie, right? The numbers don't lie. You can try to mask it. You can try to talk about everything that you want, right? And talk about like how you're going to show up and you're going to do this, you're going to do that. But the numbers don't lie. The numbers tell the truth. Hey, Nicole. So if you are here and you're not in the place where you're generating the leads that you want to attract, you're not generating the sales that you want to attract, that is going to be very confusing for you what you need to focus on next if you don't have clarity in terms of your expectations and you don't have clarity in terms of your numbers. What are the numbers that you need to hit? So that is the first pitfall that you want to avoid. Does that make sense? Does it make sense for you guys? Awesome. Good. Awesome. So the second thing is basically undervaluing yourself. This is definitely that second thing that I feel is really, really important. So essentially, in other words, or the second mistake or pitfall that you want to avoid is charging lower prices or undervaluing yourself. Because What you have to understand is that what you do is something extremely valuable, especially what you're doing is transforming people's lives in one way or another. If you are here right now helping your ideal clients solve a problem that is an actual problem within wealth, health, relationships, personal development, spiritual development, any of these areas, business, wellness, I guess that's within health, right? So if you're here solving something within those areas, career, that's wealth too. Anyways, what we want to do is make sure like what you're doing is something that is really transformational. And what tends to happen is that we compare ourselves to other people. Yes, you're like, okay, I know that I'm good. I know that when I am talking with my clients one-on-one, I'm great at what I do. They love what I'm doing. I'm feeling great. We're feeling good. Everything's cool. But then going out and promoting my services, promoting my offer, my program feels a little bit difficult because I'm looking at other people out there and they're doing amazing. And I feel like maybe I should be maybe my clients should hire this other person instead of hiring me, right? So what we want to do is really start to get you to value yourself, value what you're doing, and stop being available for the things that don't serve you, for the clients that don't serve you, for the price that doesn't serve you, right? Because the truth is that what you do is extremely valuable. What you need to do is make sure that you're speaking to the right audience. Let me drink a little bit of water. And I'll tell you a story about this too, because sometimes people feel like, okay, I'm just going to charge a lower price because it's easier selling a lower price. Now, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, Fabi Paolini, in case you don't, everywhere Fabi Paolini, but I've shared the story how I'm in the process of generating $1,000 per day through a small mini course that I have in Spanish. I have the course in English too. It's called the Client Magnet, but I also have it in Spanish. It's called El Imán de Clientes. It's a $37 mini course, okay? You know how hard it is to make a $37 sale to a cold audience? It is hard. It takes us every single day coming in, looking at the sales page, looking at the funnel, optimizing, tweaking, changing, editing, improving, looking at ads, looking at audience. It is really hard to make a low ticket sale. Now, people sometimes have the idea that, oh, selling low ticket is really easy. It's super easy. Really, it's the simplest thing in the world. Let me start with low ticket because that will be easier to sell that higher ticket. The truth is that it takes the same amount of effort. Sometimes I kind of feel like it takes more effort selling a $37 thing than selling a $10,000 thing or a $5,000 thing or whatever it is, right? Because you still have to do the sales page. You still have to write the emails. You still need to do the webinar. You still need to write the copy. There's all of these little pieces that need to be done. The thing is that what you need to understand is that you're basically fixing the wrong problem. Thinking, okay, what I need to fix is the price. I need to lower my price so that I can get more clients and that way I can do more things, right? Or make more money. But the truth is that instead of doing that, what you need to do is change the audience. You need to make sure that you're speaking to an audience that can actually afford what you're selling right now. That is the thing around valuing yourself, because yes, first part of this is I need to value myself and the work that I'm doing. Second part of it is I need to make sure that I'm speaking to the audience who will benefit from what I'm doing, who will value what I'm doing, who will appreciate it, and who will happily pay to solve the problem that they have. So what tends to happen, you guys have probably heard me talk about it, is that people speak to what I call Ursula, right? And Ursula is the poor, unfortunate soul. Little Mermaid reference right there, right? So the Ursula is the person who is a victim, in victim mentality. Oh, all of these things have happened to me, not responsible for their solution, not they're responsible for their problem, not really taking action in solving the problem that they have. So what happens is if you're leading with pain, oh, this is how you're feeling and this is what's bad and this is what's horrible and you need to improve this and you need to improve that, and you're going on and on and on about the problem that your audience has, you are putting your audience into a box of them being the victim all the time. So what you want to do instead is tweak your communication to speak to what I call the driven hero, the person who is ready to take action, the person who is ready to move forward through everything, right? And say, okay, you know what? You're selling me a $10,000 program on weight loss. I'm in. I'm in because I am committed to solving my problem. I'm in because I'm ready to solving my problem. I'm in because I want a higher level version to do it. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday I had a hypnosis session, my first one. Lord, that was intense. But anyways, I had an hypnosis session. Now, I could have gone with a really low ticket person, or I could have gone with a higher ticket person. I decided to pay higher price for the hypnosis session. It wasn't really a session, it was a program. Yesterday was the first session anyways. But my point is, as a high level client, I'm going to look for somebody who's going to solve the problem at the core. I would rather hire somebody who's more expensive than somebody who isn't, because I feel like it's very important for me to make sure that I am solving the problem. So what you want to do is become that person for your clients as well. Become the person who is willing to, who shows your clients that there's a process, right? And that's kind of part of the third mistake, or the third pitfall that coaches are making, right? Is this making sense so far? So far we talked about the first thing, just not having clear expectations and not having clarity in terms of your numbers. The second thing we talked about, the importance of undervaluing yourself, or stopping undervaluing yourself and thinking that you have to charge lower prices for what you do. And then the third one is really about how you're structuring your services or your program, which for me is one of the biggest mistakes out there. Now, I want to be a little bit controversial for a second here and say something that is a little bit different to what most coaches out there are saying, okay? So the majority of coaches right now, at least I see in the coaching industry, are talking about group coaching, right? How group coaching is the way to go because you're able to leverage your time and you're able to make more money only with one group call a week, blah, 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 blah. Yes. Cool, okay? We get that group coaching is great and it's awesome and it's amazing. However, my recommendation for you is if you don't have many clients, or if you haven't had many clients in the past, it's gonna depend on where you're at, right? I usually recommend starting with one-on-one coaching first. And the reason for that is that there's two things that need to happen for you to start with one-on-one. At least this is my way of viewing it, okay? I might be wrong. Side note here, you do you. If you feel like I really want to do group coaching, this is the way to go for me, do that. If you're like, I'm not sure, then pay attention, okay? So two things. Number one, if you are newish, and you don't have as many clients, you haven't had as many clients, or if you aren't new, but you are still in a process of improving your lead flow, improving the amount of clients that you're getting, right? So if you're getting less than 2 or 3 clients per month, you should probably start with one-on-one coaching first. And the reason for this within these two scenarios is that you need to get better and better at your craft as a coach first. Now, maybe you already are amazing. You already have all of the experience. But even if that's the case, I really feel that launching a group program and having only one person or 2 people sign up can be so bad for your confidence, because you feel like a fraud inevitably, right? You're like launching this group program and only 2 people signed up or only 3 people signed up. And that's gonna make you feel bad. So usually, and which means that you're gonna show up differently, you're not gonna have the same excitement. And yes, your clients are gonna get an awesome experience because they sign up for a group program and it turns out it's almost like one-on-one coaching. But I kind of feel like it's better for you to get better at generating more leads before jumping into doing a group program. And obviously you need to get better at becoming a coach and getting clients results before running a group program as well. Does that make sense? So I have like a little bit of a different opinion than most people do, because most people are like, just launch a group program. Awesome. But if you can't enroll more than one person, you're going to feel really bad. And it's going to be very difficult for you to deliver in the same way. So my recommendation is starting with a group, with one-on-one. Now, that being said, the other piece of this is not selling your offer by the session or by the hour, but you want to sell it as a package. And what you want to do is sell a methodology and not a program. So what I teach my clients to do is to turn their offer, turn their solution into a methodology, into a framework, into a system, into whatever you want to call it, right? Into a process that is proprietary to the client, right? So in my case, I have something that's called the Brand Strategy Pyramid. I use it everywhere. It's a big part of my business. You've probably seen it a million times. It's a big part of what I do. So what I sell is the brand strategy pyramid. Yes, if you work with me one-on-one, these are the ways in which that's going to be implemented. If you work with me in my group program, these are the ways in which that is going to be implemented. But what I sell is my methodology. I sell my framework and my process, okay? And that is a big difference because that immediately is going to make me stand out from everybody else. I am not just another coach teaching just another thing. I'm teaching the brand strategy pyramid framework. And this is what it has. It has a solid foundation, how to position yourself as a high ticket coach or position your offer as the solution that they want, and how to create magnetic content. Those are basically the 3 core things that we do within the brand strategy pyramid, right? And that is what I'm selling. I'm selling that, right? Messaging, offer, marketing. Those are the 3 things that I focus on. But I teach it in a different way, and I talk about it in a different way. It's very different for me to say, okay, Nicole, we're going to work together. I'm going to help you lose weight. Cool. Well, how are we going to do that? I don't know. We'll count macros, and we'll have you work out. And we'll go one-on-one session and talk about it and see what happens. That's very different. Whereas if you told me, okay, we're going to work with you to lose weight, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look deep into your beliefs to uncover exactly what the beliefs are that are holding you back and are keeping the weight on. Then we're going to look at like what your nutrition is like, what you're eating every day, how you're feeling your body. Then we're going to look at your movement. How are you, what type of exercise are you doing? Which one is the best type of exercise that fits your body? Then we're going to be looking at your spiritual routine and what are the things, like, are you meditating, are you whatever, I don't know, whatever it is, right? But that's the intention. Instead of being like, oh, we're gonna work together with like a session here and there and we'll see what we'll do, what you want to do is turn that into a methodology and brand that methodology under your name or under your whatever, right? In my case, it's the brand strategy pyramid. I have clients like Shay who has the WABA framework. It is what it is for you. So my recommendation is making sure that you're creating an offer that fits who you are, right? And definitely thinking about how to structure your offer in the right way, because there is a right way and there are wrong ways to do it. Launching and thinking, I'm just going to do a group program, coming back to the first mistake, right? Expectations. Oh, I'm going to launch my group program. I'm going to price it at $10,000 and I'm going to enroll 10 people in the first week. And then you're like, shit, I can't enroll one person and the structure of the program is wrong. There's no methodology. So I have a really hard time positioning the offer as the solution that my audience needs. So therefore, I'm going to have a hard time making sales. And therefore, it's just like, it keeps on getting worse and worse. So expectations aren't met. And therefore, you're not showing up in the same way. Does that make sense? And by the way, if you guys need help with the offer, I have actually a worksheet around offer as well. Type the word offer in the comments below. Or if you're watching this in the Vault page, just click on the button and send me a message saying offer. So I'll know what to send you. Okay, so that's the third one. Let's cover the fourth one. And the fourth mistake, the fourth sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. Pitfall that coaches are making is really not mastering lead generation, okay? So what happens is that most coaches out there, and if this is you, just give me a 1 in the chat, because I know that this has been me in the past, and I know that a lot of my clients, when we start working together, are this, right? So a lot of people, what they do is that they're trying to do everything. They're doing YouTube, they're doing Instagram, they're doing TikTok, and they're doing Facebook groups, and I mean, I had a client a while ago that I worked with that literally was doing everything. So she started my program, Breakthrough Brand, and she was doing, like, I had never seen something as crazy. She had a podcast, she was on YouTube, she was on Instagram, she was doing Reels, she was doing TikTok, she was on Facebook, she was on Clubhouse, she was on LinkedIn. It was insanity, right? And she had a book, she had a mini course, like she had all of these things and she couldn't make a sale. And the reason for that is that she hadn't really mastered lead generation and definitely hadn't mastered her message either. So what happens is that you're all over the place and you feel so overwhelmed with needing to produce so much content and create so much and put so much out there that it just feels exhausting and unsustainable over time, right? So you're all over the place doing so many things that you are like burnt out and then don't post at all. Or worst of all, is like you don't post at all. You're so overwhelmed with so many things that you have to do that you're like, maybe you do one post on Facebook once every 2 weeks, and you're like, I wonder why I'm not making clients, like why I'm not signing clients, why I don't have leads, why I don't have calls coming in. And obviously that's going to happen if you haven't mastered lead generation. So my recommendation around this is making sure that you know exactly what you need to do to get clients and focus on that one thing. Now, does that mean that I'm going to only do one thing even if I hate it? No, you need to make sure that it's something that fits who you are, but you need to go all in. You know, one of the things I was talking to one of my clients last week is that you need to show up, like not half-ass things, but really show up all in with everything that you're doing. Like, give all of your attention, give all of your intention, give all of your energy to the things that you're creating. Even if nobody's watching, you need to show up because people will watch. People will quietly watch, people will quietly pay attention. So it's really important for you to understand that you need to show up more in the right way, in the right places. And more importantly than that, what you need to do is make sure that you're mastering your message, because that is going to be the thing that's going to change the way that you attract people. Lead generation mastery comes from you knowing how to create content that leads to sales. I mean, pretty obvious, right? So if you don't know how to do that, you have to sit down and really look at, okay, what do I need to improve? So for example, in Breakthrough Brand, in my program, one of the things that I teach is the 4 types of content that you need to create. So there's 4 really categories of type of content that you need to create. And what you want to do is rotate between these 4 every single week or every single day, however you want to work it, depending on how much you want to hustle or not. But really, I teach 4 types of content. And all that they need to do is rotate between those types of content. And those contents are that content is created in a way that leads people to request more information from you, right? So that is what you want to do. You need to make sure that you're mastering lead generation and not jumping on a million things, because otherwise you're just going to go crazy. So stick to one place. For me and my business, it's been mostly Facebook. I am right now very focused on TikTok as well, just because, damn, what a good platform. Damn, how fun that is. So I'm slowly growing on TikTok, doing my thing, but for the most part, my place has been Facebook. That is where I've been organically growing my business. Now, I do run ads in my business, but what I teach my clients is organic. And what I do as well is a mix. I do a mix of organic plus paid ads, and that is what gives me the results that I've had in the past. But my clients have had the result that they've had without paying for ads, right? I teach organic, like I said. But the thing is that you want to master lead generation. You want to master organic lead generation ideally, because before you jump into running ads, and I made this mistake 1,000,000%, before spending money on it, you need to make sure that it works. You need to make sure that it is profitable, that it converts. And the only way to do that is through doing organic first. So let me sum up the 4 that I've talked about so far. The first mistake or pitfall, I don't know why I have a hard time with the word pitfall, but anyways, the first mistake is not having clear expectations and not being clear on your numbers. And again, I mentioned that if you want the business income calculator, type the word calculator below or send me a message so that I can send it your way. The second mistake was charging lower prices and undervaluing yourself. The third one was about not really understanding how to package your services. So jumping on a group program before you're ready for it, or doing one-on-one, but really selling by the session instead of building a methodology. That's the third one. The fourth one is not mastering lead generation, which is pretty crazy. So then the last one is all about not knowing how to communicate the value behind what you do. Because at the end of the day, what you're here doing in your business right now is selling an outcome. You're selling a result. You're not selling the program, the offer, even the framework. You're not selling the sessions or any of that. What you're selling is the result, okay? So what you need to understand is, how do I communicate the result that I deliver? Number 1. And number 2, how do I communicate what makes me different? Because you are different from everybody else in your industry. And you need to ask yourself, what makes me different? What is it about me that makes me different that will make somebody say, you know what, I'm going to hire Nicole. I'm going to hire Fabi. I'm going to hire whoever the person is, even though there's 1,000,000 Nicoles out there. There's 1,000,000 Fabis out there. There's 1,000,000 versions of you out there right now. So you need to understand, okay, why me? And how can I communicate to my audience why they need to hire me? above anything else. Like, how can I create demand for my framework, my services, my results, my coaching above others out there, so that I make everybody else irrelevant and make people say, I want to buy from Fabi, I want to buy from Nicole, because people don't buy from the best. Unfortunately, I wish I could say people buy from the best. All you have to do is keep on studying and keep on becoming great at what you do, and that's it. That's not how it works. People buy from what they understand the easiest, what is well explained. They buy from those who are able to clearly communicate the value behind what they're doing. So the value comes from, okay, what is the result that you deliver? What are the outcomes? How is my life going to be better when I buy from you? A lot of people are very vague, and you want to try to get very specific. Now, for a lot of you, you sell something that is intangible, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with selling something intangible. Obviously not. I've had spiritual coaching clients who are making $30,000 in their month in their business, and they're doing it while selling something intangible. Same thing with a life coach who can be very vague, right? So I've had clients in all of these areas who, like, I have a client, for example, that focuses on healing inner wounds and like inner child wounds, and or what is it? Yeah, something like that, right? Inner child wounds. And they're signing $10,000 clients left and right and making six figures in their business. So how are they doing this? Well, you still need to understand what is the outcome that you deliver, and make sure that your communication is based on that. There's a post in this group for you to share. If you click on the guide section, and I know it's kind of confusing right now, but if you click on the guide section or scroll through the group, you'll find a post where I invite you guys to share your websites, and I'm doing like quick little reviews for them. So I did a few videos a couple of days ago, so I'm doing like quick 1-2 minute videos on Loom, and I was looking through a lot of them a few days ago, and I was like, most of these people have the same problem. They don't know how to communicate the outcome that they deliver. They're talking about like wellness. Let's live your best life. Let's work on your wellness. But what does that mean? That means nothing to me. If I'm here trying to work on, like, I want to lose weight, saying like live your best life or even lose weight is not enough. I need you to tell me specifically. I work with high achieving women who are coaches that want to lose 10 pounds, whatever. Like, I mean, obviously maybe I just went too specific, right? But you want to try to be a little bit more specific on what is the result that you deliver for your clients. Because when you're able to really communicate what makes you different and why you, and is the result that you deliver, that really is going to make a massive difference on all of the efforts that you're putting out there in terms of your marketing. Otherwise, you're going to keep on attracting the people that are broke. You're going to keep on attracting the wrong people, or the people that need to think about it, or the people that are the Ursula, the poor unfortunate soul, the victim who isn't responsible, who isn't coachable, who isn't really ready to solve the problem. So they'll keep on being like, okay, cool, that sounds nice, I'll do it later. But not being like, okay, let's go, I need to solve this problem right away. Is that making sense? So you really need to make sure that you're communicating in the most specific way possible what is the result that you deliver. And that is probably one of the top things that I see going wrong, and that connects to everything, right? Because if you don't know how to communicate the value that you deliver, then you're undervaluing yourself. You end up charging lower prices, and you don't know how to turn it into a methodology, and you don't know how to master sales or lead generation, and your expectations are off because the numbers are always going to be off. You're going to need more and more people that you need to show up in front of and get in front of if you are not communicating in the right way. So it's very important that you learn exactly how to do this. Did that make sense? So let me once again repeat the 5 coaching pitfalls. I keep on having to look at the word pitfall because I have a hard time with the word. So the 5 coaching pitfalls or mistakes that coaches are making that are keeping them stuck and frustrated in their businesses. Number 1, not clear expectations, no number clarity. They don't know how much money they need to make. They don't, or not how much money they need to make. They don't know what needs to happen for them to hit the numbers that they want. Okay. The second one is undervaluing themselves, charging lower prices because they think it's easier to sell a lower ticket. It's not. The third one is not knowing how to structure their programs, jumping into group programs before they're ready, or selling by the session instead of selling a methodology, a framework, a process, a system that is branded and is their own. The fourth one is not mastering lead generation and then doing all the things. Like, I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram and on Twitter and I'm on TikTok and I'm on Reels and then I'm doing Clubhouse, and and I'm on YouTube and you're doing all the things, so you're spreading yourself thin and not mastering your message and not mastering lead generation in one place first before you're like throwing money into it or doing whatever. And then the last one is not knowing how to communicate what makes you different and the result that you deliver. So those are really the 5 coaching pitfalls that I see coaches making all the time. That being said, here's how I can help you solve it. And you guys, if you're here, you probably have heard me talk about it, but what we do is a free 15-minute call that we call a brand audit. And essentially what we do is we hop on, and mind you, this is not a sales call. Instead, what it is we hop on the call with you and we look at your content. We look at your Facebook profile, if you're using that, or your Instagram, or whatever you're using on social media. Or we look at your website, or we look at your landing page for your webinar or whatever you're doing, and we give you very specific feedback and insight into what needs to change so that you can start improving, optimizing your communication, so that you stop speaking to the poor unfortunate soul, to the Ursula, and start attracting the right people. So we'll give you very specific customized feedback. This isn't like hi, I don't know, some random thing, but it's really specific. We'll look at your website. We'll say, okay, Nicole, you need to fix this. You need to fix that. Look at here. What you're saying here, that phrase is speaking to the victim. You need to change that phrase into something that speaks to the victor. The driven hero is what I like to call it, right? So we'll give you very specific feedback. Now, if you are like, I haven't launched my business, but I'm in the process of launching my business as a coach right now, but I don't have anything to show just yet, what we'll do in the brand audit, it will be more like a brand clarity than an audit, but still, is we'll sit down with you and you will tell us, okay, I'm launching my business I'm a career coach, and I've had this experience. These are the things that I've done in the past, but I'm ready to launch my business right now. Maybe I worked in HR for the last 15 minutes and I feel like I'm really confident in terms of helping people, or I certified myself, whatever it is, and I want to do career coaching. So we'll tell you, okay, so let's talk about the audience that you need to speak to so that you're able to attract premium clients from the beginning. Let's talk about the type of content that you need to be creating as a career coach to be able to attract the right clients, right? So that's basically what we'll do. It is a free call. It is 15 minutes long, and we're not pitching anything. It is not a sales call. If at the end of the sales call, you're like, okay, or not the sales call, sorry, the audit, you're like, you know what? I'm actually interested in helping you or having you help me implement this, then we'll do a separate call for that. If at the end of the call you're like, okay, thank you, I'll go ahead and implement this on my own, you can do that as well. So if you want to do this call, all you have to do is type the word audit in the chat below, or send me a private message with the word audit, or if you're watching this from the Vault page, just click on the button below. You'll see the link to book the call directly on your own. Anyways, I hope that this was fun. Recapping once again, the 5 things. The 5 mistakes. Number 1 is not having clarity in terms of your numbers and expectations. Number 2 is charging lower prices. Number 3 is not having clarity in terms of how your services are built, right? You're doing group coaching before you're ready, or you're selling by the session or by the package and not really selling a methodology. The 4th thing is not mastering lead generation before you're doing everything at once. And the last one is not knowing how to communicate what makes you different from everybody else. Hopefully this was helpful. I can't wait to see you all next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day.